What is it that transforms the human mind? What is it that allows us to grow? The simple process itself was looked at by my mentor nearly 100 years ago, and he used an interesting metaphor. The metaphor was about a bird. He said, transformation of the mind is to a human being what flying is to a bird. In other words, we were born to undergo constant change and transformation, growth, development, but then of course we all know something happens to that along the way. By and large, most people have problems with really being authentic in relationships. Many people spend their time interacting with people in order to be accepted, gain approval, get applause, and if they don't, there's this great fear of rejection. I also begin to look at the world in like-dislike, good, bad, right, wrong. And so I'm listening for those cues, and I'm trying to avoid ever being threatened by potential rejection. And so like a bird, I end up in a cage. And a lot of birds, after they beat their wings against a cage long enough, begin to stop trying. We process rejection in the same area of the brain as we do if you get hurt. If you broke your leg, suddenly you would know pain. And where the brain would process that is the same place we tend to process rejection. So it's a very painful experience. And if you're smiling on the outside while you're seething in the inside, or you're filled with fear on the inside, A, you're not authentic. B, you can't listen very well. C, you're certainly not being creative other than to maybe make your cage stronger and defend yourself. It impacts us in a lot of ways, whether we know it or not. If you encounter a person who's relatively calm, it has a calming effect because of the mirror cells in the brain. The best thing one can ever do with somebody who's agitated or upset, either with anger or with fear, is to let them talk it through, and then your ability to move into that situation, making sure they know that you've understood from their frame of reference. That, yeah, I could see how you would be upset with that. You're not an idiot because you're upset right now because of what happened. You've been through 6 people, all of which that have bounced you around and giving you no satisfaction whatsoever. I can see the frustration of all that. The time to practice trying to do that is not when you're in the middle of an irate conversation where you've already been hooked and you're already reacting. The key is to practice it at times when you're not there and to understand what it is that's your triggers. What are my buttons? What is it that people do or say that I find suddenly I want to straighten it out, or I want to get out of this situation? How can I begin to get in touch with myself and understand that I do a lot of reacting? I've been programmed since birth. And in this culture, we tend to have this feeling that these triggers are built in, and you'll hear a common phrase, well, that's only human. But it wants to go on and almost say it is human and you can't, quote, help it. You're a victim of all these. And the issue is, no, you're not. What are my triggers? What our triggers are is that we've bumped up against our cage. And the more I work on those triggers and understand what they are, what you'll discover is, as you become aware of them, you then begin to become aware as soon as the button is pushed, that I can't change what I'm unaware of. So to the degree we work on that, do that internal work, it will change forever the way we work with other people. One can literally go through life experiencing a deeper inner, if you will, power, joy, freedom. It's there. But it becomes very, very hard to see when we keep our eyes on the cage and overlook the fact that we're really a bird. We're capable of flying, but we don't realize we can fly because we've never gotten through the cage.